you can, sorry, I'm having trouble with YouTube. There we go. You can really get an assessment applying those skills that you get rapid repetition from the 5-second chart analysis right into swing trading. And the first thing that is going to really stand out is the basic, simple measured move pattern. That is probably the most common pattern you'll ever see in the market. Whether it is a part of a bigger structure like an inverse head and shoulders, a triple top reversal, or whatever you find in there for chart patterns, this is going to be the building block for it. Is the quick little 1-for-1 measured move setup, sometimes 2-for-1, rarely 3-for-1, so on. The idea is once you can identify these quickly, you can then go and look at any chart time frame and pick them off like just second nature. It just becomes a something you can see at a glance. And certainly you can pick them off on a day chart pretty easy. There it is right there. Same thing. You can get primary move, accumulation, secondary move. Sometimes a 2-4 where you get 2 times the move from the primary. So here's 1 secondary and 2 secondaries. Very simple stuff. If you keep it that simple and then add a couple other little things to it, you get some pretty accurate swing trade analysis. And that's what I'm here to do today. So let's go ahead and put this into a weekly chart. All right. Well, everybody knows this big giant cup and handle's been here for a while. You'll see the 1-for-1 everywhere you look. It's all part of a big structure, and it's little pieces that matter. This is looking at all the little triangles that go into building a bridge. Most engineers see the triangle as a sound structure. And when you see this, and you can draw it as a triangle if you want, really, there's a primary and secondary move. You don't need to. You can just kind of glance at it and have a very good understanding of what it does, why it's a smaller part of something bigger, and why it is so strong. Usually you have simplicity in the analysis, and the strength is being able to trade it effectively. Let's dig in a little bit more. Let's go down to a 15-minute chart. We start to see these structures stand out to us over and over and over again. And the idea is being able to not take a bias until you start seeing a push in the direction that you're looking to trade. For instance, here we can see there's your primary, there's your big range. It came up, tested the top of it, cool, broke down, did exactly what it was supposed to do, where it was supposed to do it. Pretty simple. Let's go look at something else. Let's go have a look at Apple, for instance. Apple I've been talking a lot about. As you may know, I go and pick over a lot of Jim Cramer stuff and I start to analyze it. Well, this starts to make sense. There's your primary, secondary. This one actually gave us the rare 3-for-1 or 2-for-1. Sorry, primary, secondary, third move. So effectively, once you start to realize that, and you can apply it to swing trading, you know exactly where to go short. You know exactly where to go long. NVIDIA, same thing. Basically the same setup, only now I've got this really poorly drawn diamond top at the top. Let me delete that real quick. That's embarrassingly drawn. I drew it in a hurry. So effectively we see, analysts talking about it. We get this primary price target up here at $500. It was an upgrade at one point and kind of nailed it. It overshot it a little bit in the earnings. And if you look at the earnings that came out and that massive spike up to the top price that it hit during the earnings announcement was pretty much right at the edge of where we expected it to go. That was an easy prediction. This is the one that old Kramer kind of missed. He was pretty much seeing this parabolic move and thinking, nah, this has got to sell off. Boy, was he wrong. Ideally, when you can apply this kind of simplicity to your price action trading, you really get the feel for how to swing trade. And when you've repeated it 1,000 times on a 5-second chart, dude, that's going to be your one kick. You're going to really know how to do that. And last week, you might have heard me talking about this expected bearish move down and then return to mean regression or 50% retracement or whatever you want to call this move. It did exactly that, almost to the number. That's all you need. Scientific wild-ass guess into where it's going to go and then plot the moment it starts to move through it. So in reality, you can take everything you learn and simplifying that price action on a 5-second chart, a 1-minute chart, a 5-minute chart into your swing trading in ways that just make it so much easier. And here's the kicker. You can take a list of like 10 or 20 stocks that pop up on a watch list or an alert that are meeting certain criteria, whether you built the scanner yourself or you're using some pre-built scanner or something like that. And you can make some very quick assessments of what chart you're going to trade or what equity you're going to trade within that list very easily if you can keep the application of analysis as simple as possible. And this is what it is. It's very simple. Look for the structure that's within the structure. Measured moves are very easy to spot. I tune into those things. I can glance at a chart for seconds and pick them off. So now we go and apply it to, something like GM, for instance. We had this massive, didn't go right. The M button's a little sticky on my keyboard here. So I've had this bearish setup on this chart for a long time now. It's finally started to break it today. This is a for instance. I think this might become a great short if it gets out of this range. Pretty simple. Primary move, secondary move. This is a long time here. This is many, many months in the making for this, all right? In fact, this primary move peaked back here at the beginning of 2022. So when you can start to lay these out on longer term charts, you can start to really get an easy way to assess whether or not you want to trade that or not. Well, it's been in this range for a long time since I drew this, and I don't have to come and look at this thing every day. I can just kind of peek at it once in a while and say, okay, well, when this range breaks, because we know all ranges do break, whether it's on a 5-second chart or a 5-year chart, we just patiently sit back. So we can keep this on our own list. And that's kind of what I do. I keep a list of stocks that I've done this to, and I just wait patiently. When the setup looks right, aha, I got a swing trade opportunity. Okay, I'm going to watch it today and see if it breaks this level and starts to continue down into this zone. Short term, I've got a 1-for-1 here. It's all mapped out. Just drew that today. Long term, I've got this whole entire move. One that's kind of taken effect that I noticed recently, Target. I've had the same situation. Big old primary move, accumulation, break, secondary move. In fact, we've got a 1-for-1 in the secondary as well. I also take to note certain things that are said about things. So at one point, Target had a downgrade from $175 price target by analysts down to $130. Wow, look at this. It's the peak of our accumulation. They still had it upgraded. They only recently downgraded it. There's your downgrade. Once they downgraded it, it was right in here. Look at that. That's our accumulation zone, and we went further. I'd be curious to see if they upgrade this anytime soon. Last night, I was literally watching Jim Cramer's Mad Money, and some caller was asking, "Hey, what's your 5-year outlook on Target?" "Oh, I think it's a great company." Don't care about the company. The price action speaks for itself. When it starts to hit this level, I might be interested in going long in it. Pretty simple. I just apply basic price action skills to this chart and pick it off. So what I'm really saying is, it is really that simple to find swing trade setups. You can literally take everything you learn in day trading when you're with me on my live streams, and I'm teaching you these over and over and over again every day, and adding some stuff, adapting some stuff. Many of you have been around for a while, have kind of seen me adapt to this style, and it just gets refined better and better and better as time goes on. Now I'm at a point where I glance at a chart, I already know the outcome long before it starts to break out, but I don't have to trade the setup still. I just trade the break. So in reality, everything I'm showing you on day trading makes swing trading easier. Hell, in most cases, it makes investing easier. So if you're looking at, taking and putting together a retirement account, apply this to it, and you're going to have effectively a much better performing portfolio than pretty much all of your peers who just keep throwing money down into a 401k and living with it. So That's really all I got to say. It's just a simple way of applying price action to your swing trades. And man, when you start to see how simple it can be, simple is fast, simple is efficient, and simple is effective. And that's the bottom line. Simple is always going to win. And this is how you keep price action simple. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I'll be sure and put out a few more videos kind of explaining this stuff, but I'm going to get this out there and I'm going to put together a course eventually on this stuff. But realistically, when it gets this simple, there's not a whole lot of material to explain. It's just a matter of repetition and learning to draw on your